It's grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light, Little Flock. Today I've had a pretty busy day, a very eventful day. I caught a baby today. I don't know if you guys saw on my community post. I'm not sure how long ago, maybe a week or so ago. I made a post about a woman who was having a child soon. And that child came today. And I was requested to catch that baby, so I did. It's interesting, sometimes the things that Abba has you do in life. This is the third child that I've caught. Not that I ever thought I'd be what you would call a midwife or anything. I never considered a midwife or midwifery being a masculine thing. Always thought of it as a feminine thing. But in my life, Abba has had me do this for the third time now, to catch a baby. No one's in the room, me, the mother, Abba. But it was a success, you all. Baby came out healthy, mother's healthy. They're together right now, healing and resting. All praise to the Most High, I am. So I had a pretty busy day today. But that doesn't mean that I neglect the work that needs to be done. So I told you guys that there would be more videos that I would drop about the 7. By the way, the baby that was born today, his nickname is 7. So y'all say what up though to Lil 7. Say what up though, Lil 7. So I told you guys I would be dropping videos about the 7 years, the past 7 years. This being the 7th year. You see? What it entails for those who are going to be going into their 7 years. You understand? Think of it like this, little flock, real quick before we get into this message. Jacob wanted something, right? Hey, kitty. Hey, kitty. Jacob wanted something, and what did he want? He wanted Rachel. He wanted Rachel. And what was he told that he had to do in order to obtain her? He had to labor for 7 years. Why does this 7 keep popping up everywhere? Like I said, the baby born today nicknamed 7. And I didn't say that. His mother said that. You see? What's all this going on? What's all this going on with this 777? Well, as you know, Jacob worked 7 years, but he didn't get Rachel. He got Leah. In order to get what he really wanted, he had to work 7 more years. You see? So Abba makes you go through a process of training, if you will, or preparing, if you will, for the thing you hope for. That's what I want to tell you all about, little flock. Because the thing that I hope for is something that I saw 7 years ago. You hear that? I saw it when I went out into the 40. I was led of the Spirit out into the wilderness for 40 days to fast. And when that happened, I saw what I really wanted my life to be like, if you understand what I'm saying. I revised my life with the things that Abba had shown me while I was out there in the 40. See, once you know the power that the grandson of Right Thought is talking about, then you understand how beneficial it is to be in a place like I was for 40 days. The thing you have to do requires you to go into a secret place alone where no one can see you but the Father. Well, when you're in the wilderness by yourself, no distractions, no noise, nothing to bother you, nothing to do anything to distort what's happening with you and the Father, then you understand how beneficial it is to be in that state that I was in. So once he told me what to do, I started to do it. I understood the life that I had built. And I understood now that he was teaching me how to revise a new one. In other words, a child of promise. I told you manifestations are a child. You see that there? They're the same thing. You see, one is patterned after the other. The child is patterned after the manifestation that you have when the male and female come together. Just like the male and female come together to have a child. While it's manifesting, you're preparing for it to come. This is what I want y'all to understand. You can't just see it and then think that there's no preparation going to be done. For instance, with a baby, the woman gets pregnant. You don't know what sex the baby is, do you? Now, I'm not talking about modern technology where you go and get an ultrasound and all of this stuff. I'm talking about natural, like what I experienced today. That woman didn't know whether her child was a boy or a girl. I told her it was a boy. When he came out and I caught him, I said, "Oh, it's a boy." She didn't know. So that's the way manifestations go. You don't know when it will come. Do you know when the baby will be birthed? No, you don't. See? That's why it's patterned. The baby is patterned after manifestation. So the baby is growing in the womb. It's being formed. And when it's ready, it will come out at an unexpected date. So will yours. So while I was in the 40, I had saw a beautiful life that I was living. The true life that Abba had for me. Because not my will, but your will. When I went into the secret place, Abba, you showed me my life. How do you think I found out who I was? From somebody else other than Abba? Abba said, I give you a new name. So he called me grandson of right thought. See? That's my little nickname I'm going to call you. Because it's a code name. You see? Because grandson of right thought and branch of righteousness are synonymous. Aren't they? See that there, little flock? See how Abba does that? I'm like, grandson of right thought. Okay. That's what you call me. Sure. All right. Read right there in the Bible. Wait a minute. The branch of righteousness. Branch is the third part of the plant. That's the grandson of the family line. Family tree, excuse me. Just like I told you guys, I'm the grandson of my own family. See, I'm the branch of my own physical bloodline. My grandfather, my dad is junior. Grandfather is senior. My dad is junior. I'm the third. See how Abba keeps doing that? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. He hides it. He calls you his hidden ones. What is he hidden? Your identity is hidden. Who you are is hidden. That's why the whole world waits for the manifestations of the sons of El, the Bnei Ha'el. You see that, little flock? Everything is waiting for you to find out who you are. Because the only reason you're destroyed is for lack of knowing who you are. Once you know who you are, you think somebody can destroy you? Look at the grandson of right thought. Take me as an example of boldness, of unwaveringness, of never changing, despite what anybody says to me. I never change. Because when you're true, you shouldn't. It is when you're living a lie is when you need to change and have a transformation and a renewal of your mind. You see? But once your mind has been renewed, once you have been transformed, and once your identity that was hidden in God has now been revealed through Christ to you, now you're walking in power. Because it's all about an identity. If it wasn't, then how come God's people that he chose, when he introduced himself to them, he introduced himself by the name of I am, not some other weird, crazy ass name that men come up with to try to be fanciful and try to sound smart and try to seem like they have wisdom, which they obviously don't have. I am. So it's about an identity. Those same people, God's people, what did God say to them? If you don't do what I say to do, you'll be cursed. And you're going to be a slave. And you're going to go on slave ships. And you're going to be carried off into Egypt again. The same place you just came out, which is the house of bondage. You're going to be carried to another house of bondage by ships because you ain't listening. And then it happened. And the whole wide world watch it happen. But the whole wide world say, oh, no, those aren't God's people that went into slavery on slave ships, even though God said they did. God wasn't telling the truth. So they don't need listening to man is what I'm telling you. They can't be honest about what they see right in front of their face, let alone something that requires faith. They damn sure can't be honest about that. So, little flock, the 7, like I said, I had seen it and I felt it, and it was wonderful and beautiful, and all things were restored, and there was nothing that offended there, little flock, where I was at and what I saw during the 40. And now my daily prayer is, how long, Father? How long before what? What do you guys think? How long before I experience what I saw in the 40? Do you got something like that? Because guess what faith is? It's the substance of what you hope for. I told you, I was in a place where nothing offended. I was seeing the perfect display of self that I could ever imagine. And Abba says, what I'll give you with it will blow your mind. It will be even greater than what you imagine. So when I felt so good experiencing that so many years ago, ever since then, when I left the 40, I long and wait for it because I already been there. So I'm just waiting to go back. In other words, I'm waiting for the manifestation of what I long for, of what I hope for, even though there's no evidence that says it's there. Because look at where I'm at currently. I'm not nowhere. This don't look nothing like the place I saw in the 40 in my mind when I was revisioning and being renewed by the renewing of my mind. You see what I'm saying to you? The hell y'all doing? Doing something they ain't got no business doing. So do you see that, little flock? The renewing of your mind gives you a new outlook of yourself, a new I am. Because if I am is the one that reveals himself, what do you think he come to give you? Well, Israelites were slaves in Egypt. So he gave them a promised land that they had to travel to and hope for, longing for it, a land for me, damn it. Shit, y'all can be fake all y'all want. That's how I feel for real. I want somewhere for me to live. Because this ain't it. Now, when a man talks like that, read the Bible and read what it says about Abraham and them. They talked like that. They looked for a better country. That's the place I was at in the 40. A better country than this one. It was equity, fairness, love, unconditionally, from brother to brother, from sister to sister, from mother to daughter, from father to son. It didn't matter. Perfect harmony, perfect balance, no judgment, freedom, rather. And so the 7 years is an arduous trek from where you were to where you're trying to go, just like the children of Israel did, little flock. And so during those travels, look what the children of Israel went through and what they suffered. Many blows, many times of doubt. Many times they said, wait a minute. And what was it all about, little flock, so that you know what it'd be all about for you? Because I'm going to tell you what it's all about for me every day. I told y'all yesterday, I don't know what I'm going to eat. Today, I don't know. I don't. You see? I never know because I don't take any thought for my life. I don't take any thought for tomorrow. Because what does the scripture say about tomorrow? Take no thought for it. Why? Because it will take thought for the things of itself. Who words I'm using? To walk on this. What do I walk on? Whose words I'm using? The same words I'm going to always use because they work. Why would I do something that don't work? If you ask me, that shit is berserk. Doing some shit that don't work to me seem a little bit damn berserk. Okay? So I ain't doing that. I'm going to do what work. Alrighty then? And what work is Yahushua's word. It works. Take no thought for tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to sit up here and tell you guys, hey, you know, tomorrow I was thinking about sitting down and cooking up some steaks, maybe put the grill out there and put some hot dogs on there and cook it and this, that. I'm taking thought of tomorrow and I'm taking thought of what I'm going to eat. And you see how it's going? But that's normal here in Babylon, isn't it? That's all Babylonians think about with their stars and stripes on their shorts and their firecrackers flying off with a hot dog in his damn hand that he pulled off of a damn grill with a beer coming out of a cooler about to go down into his gut. Come on, little flock. You know how it is. With a damn red, white, and blue hat on his damn head talking about, yeah, I'm a patriot. Fuck yeah. America. Fuck yeah. Here to save the motherfucking day. Yeah. I didn't write that song. It's a song that actually exists. America. Fuck yeah. See, the attitude? Here to save the motherfucking day. Yeah. Flying all over the earth and world, destroying shit while saying they're saving it. That's a hell of a way of saving. Killing off millions of people. You saved my country by killing us all. Thanks. So you see, once you see that, then you want a better country. See, you want a better country than the best country in this world. See how that's going? So then you long for a new world. If you only thought there was one, then you wouldn't long for a new. You wouldn't keep going. I'll tell you right now, you won't. It's 7 years in for me, and I'm still going because I've already seen it. And so since I know the power it works, I just wait. It is inevitable that I am going to rise up to a throne. It's inevitable. Plus, it's written. It's written. You see that there? Oh my God, if he rises to the throne, he is going to change things on the earth. So let's kill the guy. Well, the moment you try to kill the guy, he's going to ascend to his throne. That's what's already written. Nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. So that whole 7 years, death is trying to take you out so that you can't get to your promised land. Ask the Israelites. Ask the grandson of right thought. Okay, let me give you an example of what I mean, speaking about the damn 7 years here. Let me give you an example of what I mean about death lurking, trying to take you out of the game. I went down to Georgia like I told you guys, right? And then remember I told you guys a story in the last video about how I had fixed the car and got it running. When I got the car, got it running, we were able to move around and move about. And let me see, make sure I get the facts straight. Yes, we were in Tennessee at this time when I got the car. That's right. We were in Tennessee at this time. Now, I got the car running and everything. We ended up moving in with another woman who eventually kicks us out. But we have the car, so we sleep in the car. Now, it's me, the witness, this woman, and her 2 children. Now, along this journey from Detroit, where we linked up and left and came to Georgia together, okay? Now, the whole time we're traveling all the way till we get to Tennessee, the witness and I continuously, always, and constantly talk about the word. So it would usually be, well, 9 times out of 10, I would be the giver, the witness would be the recipient, which means I would be speaking the word, the Spirit would move me to speak on something or to teach something, and the witness would literally sit at my feet like an obedient child and receive all of the word, all of it, with great awe. Wow, that's true. It's just right. Wow, look at the scripture. It says it right here. Wow, it's just true. Never saw it. Wow. That's how the witness would be. This would happen consistently, almost on a daily basis. That's why the witness linked up to me and said, I'm linking up with you. I ain't going anywhere. I can clearly see what you're doing here. I can clearly see it. The first day the witness had came to me, and this was in the year 2016. The witness came, this was before the 40 and everything, and heard me teaching, and was only coming by to stop by and to get something from one of the people that was listening to me teach. But when the witness heard me speaking, the witness stopped and said, I need to listen to this. I need to hear this. So what is this you're talking about? And I said the same thing that I always say. I said, it's love. And the witness made a confession that day and said, love is what I want more than anything. I said, well, God is love. So you're searching for the right thing. And ever since then, this person has been knit to me and will not leave by choice. You see that there? Kind of like Elisha was with Elijah. You see that? Well, like I said, we're in Tennessee. We have this car. We've been put out. But this time from Georgia and everything, This other woman has seen me and the witness doing this, communicating. You see, having this very intimate download from the Father that we're getting, and I'm teaching it and she's receiving it and we're doing it together. Well, this other woman was getting jealous of that. So much so that she openly said it because the other woman was having feelings for me. Okay, little flock? Now remember, I started this by saying death during that time that you're out there is going to try to take you out before you get to your promised land. He's going to try to thwart you getting there. So let's see. This is going to tell you how I got under the bridge. Now, she gets jealous. I can see it because she goes, how do you do that? She asked the witness this. How do you do that? I mean, how do you just respect him like that and reverence him like that? I mean, it just comes so naturally to you. How do you do it? That's what she said. So that was the first time I had seen the envy. The first time. Even though this woman herself would sit with a notebook and listen to everything I had to say and take notes and all over it and everything. You see? But it was a clear difference between her and I and the witness and I. It was a clear difference. You see? So that was the first time I seen the envy. Then one time while we were in Tennessee, or were we in Tennessee at this time? No, this was while we were in Georgia, before we went to Tennessee. One time while we were in Georgia, I was feeling really good one day. This is before the car got repoed, and I had a few handmade garments that I had designed, that I had handmade for myself. And they were in my belongings, beautiful garments. And one day I was just feeling good, feeling radiant, feeling strong. I was about to go to this restaurant called Tassili's to get some healthy, wonderful food that Tassili's make. And I said, I'm going to dress nice. So I took one of my custom garments and put it on. And I had long locks at the time, and I twisted my locks up and got all cleaned up and everything. I was feeling good. Well, when that woman saw me like that, she was like offended. Immediately was offended. And the witness saw it, and the witness said it too, like, wow, she doesn't seem very happy that you look like that going out today. And I was just going out to get some food and stop at the grocery store, I believe. But I was feeling good and wanted to look good. Well, that bothered her because she didn't come with me. We went everywhere together, but this particular time she didn't. I went alone. I was just feeling good, wanted to go alone. So she wasn't feeling that. So that was the red flags and signs there of envy, which you know how envy does, you see? It's akin to death, man. See that there? So I go out, come back, I saw the envy. That was the first sign. Go all the way to Tennessee, some months and months and months later, I saw the other sign. How do you do that? How do you do like this? How do you do this? Then one day when we were having a conversation, me and the witness were talking, and I saw the lady sitting across the room staring at the witness with great indignation in her face and in her eyes, hatred for her. I saw it, and I called her out on it and said, why are you looking at the witness like this? Why are you looking at her like that? And she said, you know what? I just need a moment. I just need some time to figure things out. So she got in the car and said, I need a day. That's what she told me. Now remember, this car is the car that I fixed, that I was told you can have it if you fix it. But she says, I need a day to just go and clear my mind and get my energy right, because her energy was all nasty because I called her out on it and she admitted it. Yeah, I'm feeling kind of funny. I said, okay, well, go ahead and take your day. At this time, we're staying at a motel. $50 a day, $55 a day or something like that. And we're just paying on a daily. We can get that day, we pay. We can get that day, we pay. So we were able to stay there and stay there and stay there. We were staying there. Well, she gets in the car, says, I need a day, I'll be back tomorrow. Gets in the car and drives off. Never comes back. Never came back. Now, mind you, I'm not from here. I don't know anybody. I've never even been to this city before. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. Never been to Memphis. And I only went to Memphis because this girl that took the car that I told you about got employed in Memphis. That's why we left Georgia and came to Tennessee, because she had an opportunity for gainful employment. You see that there? So While she's at work, me and the witness are there with the children, taking care of her children while she's at work. But she's envious and jealous that we're together all day. Well, see what I'm saying, little flock? So I'll be back tomorrow. I got to clear my head. Never came back. I've never seen her again. Never seen that woman again. Or those children that I had bonded with, that I had helped overcome many obstacles because they were very neglected children when I first met them. And so was that woman. But she did not look neglected after I was around her, nor did those children. Her own mother saw her and met me and saw her and said, "Girl, you are glowing. You look so beautiful." Gosh. Okay, then. But when I first saw her, she looked run down, totally exhausted. Like I said, the children were completely neglected because she was a single mother working all day long. Had a very good career, physical therapist, made very good money. At one time ran a hospital. Accomplished woman, but overworked and has no help. You see that there? So it was burning her out and everything, and it showed on her. But like I said, she came around and I got to know her, and how she came around, she heard me preaching as well, see, and came to me and was like, "I want you to teach me all of this stuff that you've been talking. I want you to teach me and help me with my children." And it was a mutual beneficial thing because my sister at the time, who is now passed away, had suffered 2 strokes, a heart attack, and had a pacemaker put in, and she was struggling with walking and talking again. She got to the point where she had regained a lot of faculties and strength and speaking and whatnot. But at this time, she was in a rough state. And I knew that this woman was a physical therapist. See? So I said, "Of course I'll teach you. No problem. But I also have an issue here of my own that you can help me with. My sister just had 2 strokes, needs physical therapy. How about you use your skills that you have and I'll use my skills that I have?" And that's how we did it. That's how we linked up. You see that there? You see? So like I said, she leaves, never saw her again. Never heard from her. So the next day I'm like, okay, the woman's not coming. Alrighty then. Now, she's employed. So she's the one paying for the room. You see that there? So now the room needs to be paid for. Well, I don't have any money to pay it. I did not plan on having to do that because the situation immediately changed all of a sudden. You see, unexpectedly. So now I go to the man and I'm like, "Oh, I can't pay you." He's like, "Hey, nothing I can do, man. So you're going to have to get your stuff and go." So me and the witness packed up our things and went to a bridge and went under the bridge and lived there for a few months. See how that goes, little flock? Now, I didn't harbor any hatred or any ill will against the woman for what she did. I said that's her choice. That's what she wanted to do. Fine. But now here I am under a bridge, stranded in a city. I don't know anybody. I don't have anything, don't know anything. I'm just there. You see? Living on faith. So I go under this bridge and I'm living under there. There's a small creek that runs under this bridge that I would get up in the morning and I would wash my clothes in. And it was actually pretty nice. And it was peaceful, actually. Even though I slept on concrete and I only had a sheet, the witness and I made do. We did the best with what we had. So months go by, we're living under this bridge. One day under the bridge, I'm asleep. Now, the reason why I'm just telling you all these things, little flock, is because I'm just sharing testimony with you, experiences with you, so that you can understand what the hardship is that comes and how to face it when it comes. So like I said, I'm under the bridge, I'm sleeping under there. One night while the witness and I are asleep, it starts to rain, which it didn't bother us because we were under the bridge and not getting wet from the rain. So it was nice. We were looking at it and everything like, wow, it's kind of nice and peaceful. Plus, at night, mosquitoes and bugs and everything, they come out. Well, the rain helped all of that clear out. So it was nice and pleasant. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Guess they want to throw the video off, huh? Well, you guys did see the kids running earlier, right? The kids running out of that field over there. Y'all did see that, right? Now look, a couple minutes later, look at what we see. So y'all are shaking my head. See? Back to the story, y'all. So one day I'm looking at the rain and everything. Well, we go to sleep. Well, while we were asleep, that creek I told you about starts to rise slowly. Now, we weren't familiar with this before it happened the first time. It happened several times, but the first time it happened, we weren't familiar. So we're laying there asleep. All of a sudden, I feel this water on my feet, splashing up on my toes. I'm like, what the heck? I look down. The water is all the way up to my feet. I'm like, okay, we're going to have to move from under the bridge and go up to the top of the bridge. It's like an overpass. So we're going to go to the top. Well, we pack up all our stuff. It's early in the morning. We're still sleepy and groggy. Pack up our stuff and move it to the top part of the under the bridge. Oh, the top part. It's hard to explain the top part, but if you know underpass on the freeway, you know what I mean by the top part, the high part. So we go up there on the high part. We walk through the rain with all our stuff and get up there and climb back underneath the bridge at the top part. So we go up there and lay down, and we go back to sleep at the top part. We'll sleep up there. The water has come almost all the way up there. It's not, but it's almost is. It didn't fill that whole little thing we were down there sleeping. It didn't fill that all the way up. The water's almost up to the top. So we're looking down like, wow, hope that shit's going to go back down because we won't be able to sleep here anymore. But while we were sleeping, woke up in the morning. Something just woke me up out of nowhere. I said, something feels a little funny. Just feels a little weird. And we stand up, the witness and I, we stand up. And we're stretching and looking around like, wake up, something don't feel right. And while I'm thinking this, like, you guys see this right here, this little like indent? That would be like under the underpass. I'm standing like this talking. And that little thing, there was a space just big enough for a snake to be slithering on and through there. And I'm looking at the snake slithering through and I'm like, that's a snake. Yeah, that's a big fat snake slithering through there. Okay, yeah, it's time to go. Wait a minute. You were right above my head. I was just asleep right there. You were crawling right there. How long were you there? Were you even around me? Were you in my bed? Were you up around my sheet? What were you doing? I don't understand this. I don't like it. I gotta get out. That's how I was acting, y'all. On the inside. I'm like, okay. Now the snake slithering through the little crack. This is uncomfortable. Of course, the witness is freaking out too. Like, oh, it's a snake. Oh, snap. So we're backing out of there to just go out to the city. We would call it go up top. Go up top means we just go up there and just see what we find that day. See what happens. Maybe we'll come across a blessing. Maybe we find something to eat. Who knows? But we'll see. And slowly but surely, every day, we would have the necessary things that we needed. Sometimes it was plenty. Sometimes it was not. Some days it was nothing at all. But I just assume that that's Abba's will for me, the days when it's nothing at all. I'm content therewith in every circumstance I am in. The scriptures say that. So you have to be if you call yourself a follower. That's all there is to it. You have to be a doer. And so I was not downcast or sad or beat down because of those circumstances I just described to you. I bore it happily because I knew before I ever left that I was going somewhere, and I still know I'm going there. Just like the Israelites did when they were in the wilderness. You see? Do you ever notice I said 40 wilderness? What did the children of Israel do in the wilderness? 40 years. What did Yahushua do? 40 days. What did Moses do? 40 days. What did your grandson do? 40 days. You see how it's connecting? It's a transition from one land to another. That's what it represents. You see? And so it is with you, little flock. And that's what I'm saying. It's going to be perilous. Like I told you, with the water coming up on my feet, then I have to move, and then the snake is there. And then one night I'm laying under there, and I had a breakfast biscuit or something from McDonald's that somebody had bought for me. And I had two of them in a bag, one for the witness and one for me. And I had them in a bag so that we could eat them the next morning because we had sufficient for what we had that day. And I said, well, this would be breakfast for the morning. We'll take it up there, we'll use the microwave, and we'll eat it in the morning. But I had it in a bag wrapped up. Well, I'm asleep one night under the bridge, like I said, sleep. Got the bag next to my head, right? My backpack and everything around me. But I got the bag right there. Randomly had that feeling again. Something is weird. I look over, there's little Rocky Raccoon there, digging in my bag, looking to see what I got in there. I'm like, hey, dude. He looking at me. I'm like, hey. He's like, oh, my bad. So he runs around and tries to act like he's hiding in the bush. I can see him over there just waiting for me to doze off again. So I said, okay, I'm going to hide it better. So I take it and wrap it and put it under my backpack and stashed it a little bit better and everything. And I'm talking to Rocky the Raccoon. I'm like, don't mess with my sandwiches, bro. Go figure out what you're going to eat over there. Don't mess with my stuff. I go on back to sleep. I wake up the next morning. The bag is there. The McDonald's bag is still there. But when I open the bag, the 2 breakfast biscuits that were in there were gone. Y'all hear me, little flock? I'm like, Rocky didn't rob me. It's Rocky the robbing raccoon. Shit. Rocky the robbing raccoon. Damn. You see, I done got, y'all. No wonder that nigga wear a bandit mask on his face. Swiper, no swiping. Shit. Swiping ass damn nigga. Yeah, he got me, y'all. Took my sandwiches. Abba was like, didn't I tell you don't take no thought for what you shall eat tomorrow? Yeah, Abba, you did. Yes, you did. You got a sense of humor, too. You didn't let a person rob me for him. You got robbing raccoon over here to get me, didn't you? Yeah, you got a sense of humor, Abba. Y'all hear me today, little flock? Those things like that are just to try you. That's what he said. Think it not strange concerning the fiery trials. So I'm just expressing some of the fiery trials for you on this day number 2 of the message called 7. A little more insight into what was happening during that beginning of the 7 years. You see? And I'll skip ahead a little bit before I end this message. We got a little more time, so I'll skip ahead a little bit. So some months had go by. Remember the girl left, took the car. Haven't heard from her, haven't seen her in months. One day I look at my phone, I see an email from that girl. I said, oh, this is weird. She's emailing me. So I click the email and it's a butterfly. And that's all it was. It was a yellow butterfly, a picture of a yellow butterfly. I said, okay, that was that. Well, after the bridge, okay, yeah, I'll tell this story and then we'll end it on this tonight. And then we'll continue with this series another day if Abba wills it. So, after the bridge, well, I can't say after the bridge. During our stay under the bridge, which has been months at this time, it gets cold. And we're like, okay, it's not so comfortable under that bridge anymore. Because when we first were under there, it was still summertime. It was hot, so it was okay. But then, now it's getting cold. Like I said, it's been months we've been living under there. So we're like, okay, this isn't comfortable anymore. It's so nippy. We're shaking. We're trying to bundle up together and everything. But damn, it's still cold, you know? So we're walking one night, and I see a U-Haul truck. Yeah, a U-Haul truck. A medium-sized U-Haul. Sitting in an empty parking lot of what looked like maybe a doctor building, medical practice building, small medical practice building that had been abandoned. It used to be, and then it looked like the people just left. It wasn't in bad condition. It just looked like it wasn't up and running anymore. And that U-Haul truck was parked in the parking lot, and I noticed the rear wheels were sitting on bricks, had no tires on it. So I said, I wonder if this thing is open. If it is, then at least we can get inside of the back, going through the front. You got that little space in between the seats of the U-Haul. You can go in and go into the back. I said, well, if we can do that, at least we'll be out of the elements and we'll be warmer and it'll be better and we can get some rest. Walk to that truck, pull the handle, and the door opens, guys. It was open. So I was like, witness, come on, let's go back here. So we get our stuff and we put it in the back of that truck. When we would leave, we would lock the truck. And I had it rigged in a way where I could get back in it. So we would do this for a while. And as it got more into winter, it got colder and colder. And even in the back of that thing, it wasn't warm anymore. We're like, geez, this is very uncomfortable. This is terrible. Well, we're doing this for so long. After a while, the witness, we're walking one night. And we're going back to that truck to get back in it. We had been out all day trying to make moves, trying to make things happen. And we were walking to that U-Haul truck. And while we were walking, well, before we started walking, we were asking for help to get some food. And this man said that he was going to buy us a pizza, but he never did. He said he was going to, but he never did. He really didn't want to help for no pizza. He really was trying to help himself to the witness. You see there? And once he realized he couldn't do that, then he was like, look, I really ain't going to help y'all with this pizza shit. You see that there? So that hurt the witness. And the witness started to cry as we were walking to this U-Haul. And when the witness started to cry, I said, it's enough, Abba. It's enough. I'm the stronger vessel, and I'm feeling it. And I want to cry. I'm not, but I'm feeling it. But my compassion for the weaker vessel is overwhelming me now, Father. It's overwhelming to me. And I don't like to see the tears. And I have seen the witness fight, the good fight of faith. I've seen this person under the bridge with me going through the same hardships I've gone through. So if you find it in your grace and in your mercy, Father, grant the witness some reprieve, an escape from this, a way out. And as I started walking, a great zeal came over me, little flock, and I'm just being honest. That's why I'm going to finish the message with this. A great zeal came over me as I was walking. We got to the U-Haul, told the witness, go on and get on in there, lock the doors. I'm going to take a walk. I'll be back. I'll knock on the door when I come back. Witness says, okay, gets on in the back, tries to go to sleep. And I start walking. And like I said, I'm praying this prayer. As I'm praying this prayer, I stumble upon a parking lot full of cars. And I look and I say, doesn't look like anybody's around here. Where are all these nice high-end cars doing over here? I'm not from this place, so I don't know. I'm just walking, like I said, just walking around, praying to the Father for a way out. Well, as I'm walking, guys, now it would be remiss of me not to mention this part. About a day prior to the witness crying, we were sitting on a bench in front of an abandoned restaurant talking about if we could get back to Detroit, what kind of car? Because remember, it's all about faith, walking by faith. So I said, what kind of car would you like to go home in? This is what I asked the witness. And the witness said, well, let's look. And so we went online on our phones right there and started to look at cars that we liked. And as we were looking, the witness says, well, what about this? I think this is cool. It was an Audi, okay? A nice Audi, whatever you want to call it. It was a nice Audi. And I said, oh, yeah, that is a nice car. That would be great to drive home in. That's what we said, okay? We just thought about it. I said, well, let's do the thing we do. So we visualized ourselves doing it and feeling it and everything and all excited. Now, here it is, like I said, about the next day or 2 days later, I'm walking around. I stumble upon this parking lot full of exotic cars. And I look and I say, I just wonder if there's an Audi around there. And when I look, there's a black Audi A8. Not just any Audi, I mean, top of the line. Audi A8, sitting there. Now, at the time, I didn't know it was an A8, but I knew it was an Audi. I was like, is it an A6 or what? Well, as I'm looking at the car, just admiring and looking it over, thinking to myself about what me and the witness were doing the other day. I'm like, wow, just like this car. I'm just laughing to myself, thinking it. As I look, I see the car keys sitting on the center console of the car. Just sitting there. I can look through the window and see them sitting there. I said, no, this has got to be a joke. This isn't real. I don't know who's setting me up here. What's going on? But it's just like it is now. It's at night. It's late. There's nobody around. It's just me. I'm like, okay. So I get curious. I open the door. It opens. Okay. Unreal. Audi 8 sitting with the key in it, just sitting here. I said, okay. But maybe something's wrong with it. So I take the key and put it in the ignition and start it. It starts up perfectly. Sounds perfect, cool, and everything. wow. And I'm looking at the car now. I'm like, it's all lit up. I'm like, wow, this thing is nice as hell. Damn. Looking at the seats and how big it is on the inside, curtains in the back seat and everything. I mean, this thing is bad. I'm like, wow. Why is it just sitting here? I said, this thing can't be running. Transmission got to be blown in it. I'm doing all of this in this car, y'all. I reversed the car, pulled it forward, pulled it back. I said, no, it's fine. What the heck? So I turned the car off, closed the door. I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, wait a minute here. There's no way this is our opportunity to go home. There's no way it is. It doesn't happen like that. Well, see, I was learning that back then. See what I'm saying to you guys? I was learning about how it worked. No, that was the manifestation of the hope you desired, isn't it? I just told you guys what we were talking about a couple days before. Do you see it? So I said, well, Abba, I don't want to just steal or just take the thing. You see what I mean? So I need to know that this is the manifestation. I need certain things to know. I was still learning, see? And then I said, well, I'll wait for him to confirm to me that this is what he wants me to do, is to use this car. As if he hadn't already made it plain to me, but I didn't want to do anything wrong. I didn't want to be stealing or taking anything that didn't belong to me. All these things were going through my mind, you see? So I was warring with it. So I said, I need to know for sure, Abba. Like Gideon was asking Abba, I need to know for sure. That's how I was. I need to know for sure this is you doing this, and that I'm not sinning by doing this. And Abba said to me, I'm just telling you what he said. If anyone asks you, when you take that car, if anyone asks you, say the Lord have need of it. That's what he told me. And I said, okay. But it still seems crazy. I mean, that's a beautiful, nice ass, expensive car. There's no way. And Abba said, okay, well, what else do you want? I said, well, let me take a lucky guess at how much gas is in it. I say, if there is a 3/4 tank of gas, which means the needle's on that third one right before the end one, you know what I mean, 3/4 tank of gas, I said, then I'll know for sure, Abba, that it's the one. So he said, okay. So I said, but I'm not going back. I'm going to wait. So I went back to the truck, told the witness, hey, I actually think I can get a car. I don't know. It's just sitting there with the key in it and everything. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know. I said, but Abba will reveal if that's the way. So that whole day I'm praying on it and praying. I mean, the whole night I'm praying on it, praying on it. We go to sleep. Get up the next day. Go do whatever we're going to do. When night falls, I go back and look. Just curious. That thing ain't going to be there. It's sitting there. The car is still sitting there in the same spot. So I walk up to it. There's the key and everything. I open the door. I said, remember 3/4 tank is what I asked. Do you guys believe when I got to that car and started it and looked at it, because I didn't look at it the first time I started it. I wasn't thinking about it. When I looked at the gas, do you know it was exactly at the 3/4 mark? It was exactly at the 3/4 mark. Do you hear that, little flock? And I confirmed this with the witness, who I told before I went back to the car. Because I told the witness, I won't come back with it unless the gas tank is at a 3/4 tank, because that's what I asked Abba for. Well, it was at a 3/4 tank. And when I saw that, I said, this is the one. Got in the car and drove off. Went back to the truck, knocked on the side of the truck. Witnesses come out. She was half asleep. This was the next day. She's half asleep. She's looking. She's like, is that the car? I said, yeah, let's go. She got our stuff. I grabbed the rest of the stuff out of that truck. We put it in the trunk of that Audi A8, and we drove back to Detroit. You hear that, little flock? Celebrating, crying, laughing, joyous as could possibly be. And we're sitting there marveling, saying, look, we were just talking about how would you like to go home? And we said, well, Audi would be nice. And we're doing it. Do you see what I'm saying, little flock? This is what I mean about balance as well. If I were over righteous, I never would have did that. I'm just telling you the truth. I told you I warred within myself with my over righteous side. Because my over righteous side says, it doesn't matter if the tank is this, or it doesn't matter if this or that. You didn't buy that car, so don't take it. Well, when you do things by faith, you don't buy anything. That's how you buy it, is by manifest. See what I'm saying there, little flock? Which is what we did and how we did it. And while we're driving back to Detroit, Abba says to me, now this is just a grace period, grandson. I know it's beautiful I know it's fun. I know it's lovely. But you asked me for a measure of grace to get you home. So that's what you're going to get. And that's what I got, little flock. Because not too long after getting back to Detroit, the car was taken by the police. Do you see? But I was not arrested, nor was I charged with any crime at all. Do you hear what I'm saying, little flock? Because there was no crime. It was Abba's grace. Things belong to him. They don't belong to man. Man just thinks so, but man just is renting it. Like I told you that, little flock. But we get over righteous sometimes and get to thinking that man is the last authority. You're not. Abba is. You see that there, little flock? So we're going to go ahead and end this message here. It's been long and it's late. Y'all see that today? But we're going to share some more about what the grandson has gone through the last 7 years. And like I said, it's so much information and so many things, guys, that sometimes I get tangled up, jumping back and forth. But hopefully you guys are hanging with me, because you'll greatly benefit if you do. But when you go through anything hard, just think about what the grandson is telling you today. I'm still standing, little flock. I'm still stepping. I'm still here. You hear that? All of those hardships didn't keep me from my hope, because I've already seen it and I already have it. It's those people that are hopeless and don't have anything to look for. Those are the ones that are in danger. Those are the ones that are subject to the circumstances around them. Those are the ones who don't know where they're going. You see, little flock? But when you know where you're going, then you just enjoy the ride. So I'll be blessed tonight. Salawam Mesrala.